And welcome back. We're picking where we left off last time in Factorio, where we're going to try to design our red network so I can set up. So pull in the calculator. So we want 7.5 science being made. Blue is only 66% of that, so we divide by 1.5 start off. So 5 blue. 5 blue are also made by productivity by 50%, so we're down to 3.33333 repeating. That's going to get times by the fact that we need 2 red circuits for that. So it's 6.666 red circuits being made a second. Because we're making them these electromagnetic plants, they have a 50% inherent productivity, so we have to account for that. So we actually need to make 4.444 repeating recipes a second. So we need about 8.8 of each of these resources being made. Made and delivered, I suppose. Except for the copper, which would be doubled. It was basically a whole belt, or half a belt of plastic, half a belt of green, and a whole belt. Ooh, that's awkward with the copper. Yeah, that's awkward, the copper, because it's... Oh, and I forgot, I need to multiply by 2. So yeah, it's 8.8. Huh. Yeah, okay. So it's a little bit more than half a belt, except for the copper that is a little bit more than a full belt. Okay. Yeah, so we can do something fairly easily to get the inputs in. It's not going to be too hard for that type. And then I have plastic. Okay, so this is a whole belt of plastic. And we need it to be basically, what, a little over half a belt, so it's going to be like 6 aside. Oh, that's not the one we should copy. You should copy front of this one. Oh, we don't quite have the reach. Oof. There's solutions to that. The great solutions? No. Are there working solutions? Yes. Obviously, at some point, I'm going to fix that copper as well. Okay. So, we got that, we got that, we got that, we got that. So now we just need to sort out the wires. Basically, I want a whole belt of copper wire. Per side. Well, it doesn't quite need to be a whole belt. It needs to be pretty close to a whole belt, though. If I go redo the math, just to double check that we got it right. 7.5 divided by the 1.5 divided by the 1.5 times the 2 divided by the 1.5 times 4. So 17, which is definitely more than a half, or definitely more than a yellow belt. Well, definitely more than a yellow belt half, but a lot less than a full red belt, obviously. So foundry-wise, we want a foundry in. So you're going to be making wire directly. So basically it's 4 every half second. Oh, or just keep it simple. So that's also going to multiply by 1.5. Oops. 7.5 divided by 1.5 divided by 1.5 times 2 divided by 1.5 times 4 divided by 1.5. So it's 12 before counting for the recipe being 2, so it's about 6 recipes per second. Okay. Okay, so, theory, once we get all that plumbed up, that's enough. It's an incredibly terrifying mess, but it should be functional. That's what I'm going to say about it. It's an incredibly terrifying mess, but it should be functional. Why don't you have copper? Okay. Found the problem. Found the problem. Problems will be resolved. Okay. And then yeah, that one's already connected, so we can actually just take those out. It's fine. Then we want to get copper or copper melt around here. Okay, that's that plumbed in. You get natural gas plumbed in, which... Okay, we've actually kind of prepared for ourselves by having an underground there. Okay, spaghetti plumbing. Engaging in spaghetti plumbing. Okay, there's the natural gas there. You need copper. We need to already get you hooked up to copper and iron as well, so it kind of combines with what we need to do in that arena. Okay, and your copper's already up there. Okay. So, get to there. The setup's upside down. Whoops. Yeah, that's set upside down. And of course, I've copper plumbed into the... Okay. Got my iron plumbed into my copper plumbed into my iron. Well, it's an easy enough fix. Okay, so now that's working, which means that's... Okay, there's other problems with that. But we can solve those problems pretty quickly, I think. You loaded? No, in the process of loading. Got the big miners loaded, working on foundries. Which apparently we need, because we're having a shortage of foundries in the network. All the foundries are delivered. Just like the electromagnetic plants. Which was not a problem I was expecting. Okay, so little hard to see if it's working. Because arguably it isn't until we get the electromagnetic plants in. Actually, why aren't you working? Because you're not being fed copper. Because you're not being... We got iron in the copper lines, and we got copper in the iron lines. Yeah, we have iron in the copper lines, and we have copper in the iron lines. It's fixable. It's annoying, but it's fixable. That portion. Clear. That portion. Clear. So you're the iron. Pipe, pipe, pipe. And then you're the copper. Pipe, pipe, pipe. Okay. So once that's installed, assuming stuff has power, we should see the plant. Okay, not run like it's supposed to, but actually run in bits, which should be an indication that it's working. And then we'll move on to the next problem, which is flying robot frames. Which have to be done in assembly machines. Okay, so that's going to be a big setup. But then we get into electric engines and such. Can we do electric engines and assembly machines as well? Okay. So assembly machine, chemical lab. Okay. So other than the green circuits, it's not... Well, eventually they're going to get back to foundries again, isn't it? Yeah. How's the loading going? A little worrisome with the amount of ammo. At some point we're going to have to redesign the ship, I think, so it's got a little bit more capacity to produce ammo en route. Yeah, we're waiting for launches from Vulcanus. It may not be worth waiting at this point. Yeah. I don't think it's worth waiting. Let's bring you back to Novice, where you can do your rearming, because you're running a little bit low on bullets. And then we have you drop off those foundries, so we can at least get 30 more foundries in the system. It is going to be a manual drop, so I'm going to say trash unrequested. That way the stuff finds its way into the network. Okay, it's piped in. Why? Because there's a pipe missing. Single pipe missing. The pipe spaghetti is doing pipe spaghetti things, which is confusing, but functional most of the time. Oh, and there's a pipe missing. Okay, so you've got iron, you've got stuff. So you're waiting just on the copper to make that work. So we're waiting on 2 pieces of pipe to be delivered. Or we can see this portion rear to life. 1 piece of pipe waiting to be delivered. Where it's coming from, I have no clue. It's coming from somewhere. I think it's coming. In it goes. There goes the green circuits, there goes the copper wire. And we got a working red circuit factory. So we got some red circuits coming out. And that's getting some blues to run. So we'll have some blues. There we go. So, okay, it's not going to work at speed until we get enough foundries and electromagnetic plants arriving, but it's operational in the meantime. You received all your solar panels? Okay, you have. Let's attempt... In fact, I'll deploy a few more solar panels just to make sure the solar panels are... Alright, so now it's waiting on some. Which we're not going to actually wait for. Don't request this for the moment. So, I want you to try to make the trip to Fulgura. And hopefully, with increased power, you'll be able to power the laser weapons for the trip. Once more, into the void goes the flying brick. It may not be fast. But honestly, this is supposed to be a stationary platform, so if anything, it's probably going a bit fast for a stationary platform. Whereas this is really the one that's meant to be moving. You know, this one, at some point we do need to... I think we need to make it a little bit longer. Probably give it a foundry. Well, actually, maybe give it 2 foundries. So it can process a little bit more iron ore into iron bar, or into iron plate. So that we can make bullets faster en route. I suppose I could even go a little bit step further and try to set it up so that it runs armor-piercing rounds. Oh, and you have arrived at Knox. Okay. So given that, chuck those overboard. Chuck those overboard. And now we'll be down to needing electromagnetic plants. Which we hopefully are making on Fulgura. In fact, the first batch of 20 that we probably want to pick up are there, waiting for pickup. We're not ready to go pick them up, but we're ready to be contemplating picking them up. Okay, I think we want to move the engine drive units down. So we make space for more processing, basically. Want up to there, basically. Go a little bit higher, I suppose. It's not able to make it completely safely. It's still not providing quite enough power. Actually, it might be providing enough power at this point. No, never mind. It's not providing enough power. It's getting close. It's almost there for safely being able to move between locations. Yeah, so it needs more power. Okay, go ahead and set the destination. Set the destination back to going back to Novice. And hopefully it'll make it back there safely. So that's what we need. I didn't copy paste. Too much above it, so technically need that bit as well. And then we can get rid of the old drivetrain component. Alright, so we moved the whole bottom end of the ship down, which of course requires it to receive a whole bunch more platform. Which Novice should be able to send it, given Novice at maintaining enough launch capacity. If slightly different problems. Oh, I think it's passing through the worst of the rock field on the way back at this point. It is definitely far easier to travel with guns. In fact, it may be worth trying to redesign this thing to fly under guns and then use the lasers. Well, have a forward nose of guns and the lasers just for maintaining safety while you're at planet. It is not Novice. It's not going to take too much time to redesign it right now. Speed's been coming down. Why is speed coming down? We're having purple issues. Why are we having purple issues? Because we're having productivity modules issues. Which is red. Why is the red having issues? Well, the second red's having issues. Second red's having plastic issues. Second red's having plastic issues because we have a petrol problem. Why do we have a petrol problem? What did it break in the petrol system? We're out of petrol. That's what we broke in the petrol system. And I must have got the balance wrong because we're backed up on heavy for cracking. So, can I do a quick copy-paste extension of the cracking? Yeah. Only goes a little more through, but granted, that might just move the problem from heavy oil to light oil. Yeah, we might just be backed up on heavy, is what the problem looks like at the moment. So cracking it for a little bit more would help a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, it's almost safely back, and then it can start to fix itself. Well, say fix itself. We got other bigger fish to fix first. It's waiting on a bunch of launch capacity. Look at the time. I think this is probably a good place to go ahead and put the part break in for the 4th part in the stream. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will probably be another part up tomorrow, because we're going to record one more part, where probably while we're waiting for our ships to do things, I'm going to try to design the flying robot bit. We'll see how far I get through that in the next part. If you're watching Twitch, feel free to hang around. Again, this is going to be the second long break of the stream, as I go to make another cup of tea. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. Bye for now.